Okay. An awfully nice library you have. It would be a shame if something were to happen to it. You know, I'm going to keep this because we have 2 crabs. We draw a land and we are golden. It's hardened scales. The good news is we have Fatal Push. We're going to play a Flooded Strand, and because we're not going to play a crab this turn, opponent has a Welding Jar and an Ink Moth. We're going to draw. Okay, good. Also good. Well, this Field of Ruin is going to do quite a bit of work. Pendlehaven? This deck runs Pendlehaven? Illustrated by Brian Wackowitz. Wackowitz. Opponent animates their Nexus. Puts a counter on everything. Puts 2 counters on everything, I should say. Gets in with the Nexus. We take it. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and do this now just so we don't immediately die to Infect. Opponent doesn't have the mana to animate it to make it a artifact either for Welding Jar. Maybe we did that too early. We'll see. Opponent can regenerate it, but that should remove it from combat. What? They don't regenerate it. Okay. Now let's glimpse them. Oh gosh. Opponent counters up their dorks. Plays a second Hardened Scales. Gets in for 9. Well, they don't have direct damage. Go tutor out another Archive Trap. And then I think we just get them with the glimpse here. Sweet. Alright, versus Hardened Scales aggro. Crypt Incursion, Damnation, and Fatal Push in, along with Echoing Truth. And we drop probably Logic Knot. Doesn't seem very good. Cryptic Command can interact with the board and buy us time, but is a little slow, so we'll drop 1. And we'll drop 2 Mind Funerals. Try like that. This is definitely a hand I'm keeping. But speaking of VODs, shameless self-plug here. If you like the kind of content I produce, I do have a YouTube channel now. I put up some edited meme videos and stuff. There's some scheduled uploads coming along. Highly would recommend. Alright, we're keeping. Opponent is on the secret mulligan to put cards back in your deck plan. And starts with the Graft land? Okay. We draw a Fatal Push, that's good for us. And start with Crab. Yeah, opponent, you want to graft the Crab? Oh gosh, it's a Ballista. Is the opponent going to kill the Crab now? Wow. Okay. Well, let's play Shelldock Isle. We'll put Mind Funeral under it. Pass the turn, decide whether we want to Thought Scour or Fatal Push later. Opponent, Ancient Stirrings. They find a Nexus. Plays Nexus. Hangerback Walker on 1. Well, let's Thought Scour. Yay, it's a Crab! Shelldock Isle number 2. Play the Crab. Start milling. Opponent has Karn? Oh, little Karn. That makes sense. I was like, for a second there, that don't make no sense. Oh gosh. Okay. Opponent, Ancient Stirrings. You know, 1 mana Impulse is really good. 1 mana better than Impulse is really good. Mox Opal. They play it. Plays a animation module. Opponent chooses not to attack. Well, let's Thought Scour. We get a polluted Delta. That's good news. Glimpse him. Opponent puts a counter on the Walker. Pays 1, gets a servo. Bounce the Hangerback Walker to prevent these Ravager shenanigans. We are 2 cards away from having this Mind Funeral online. Opponent replays Hangerback. Can no longer make tons of servos. Plays another Welding Jar. Okay, we'll play Shelldock Isle. This turns on our other Shelldock Isle. Pick up... Yeah, definitely correct. We'll pick up Archive Trap. Rest on the bottom in any order. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 lands in the grave. They run 18 lands, I think. So, alright, we're going to shell dock them at their end step. If they play a land, we shell dock them immediately. Because I think they only run 18 lands. Opponent plays a Walking Ballista. Yeah, I mean, they will be dead at that point. Opponent has to try and kill us here. No blocks. Luckily, if they are going to have to regen does remove the creature from combat. I was actually more worried about a Walking Ballista trying to ping me to death than I was this, I think. Yep. That's how regen works. We got him. One, two, three, four. Pass turn. We got you, opponents. Woohoo! All right, 1-0. All right, we would love to play first. This hand is really slow. We have no ways to mill our opponent in hand. No traps. We can't really present a clock, but we can at least, like we'll have counter spells. So last seen playing Golgari midrange. So the rock deck. This might be a mistake, but I think I'm going to keep this. It doesn't do much, but it does interact. Opponent cycles a Street Wraith, plays a Bloodstained Mire, fetches, finds a Blood Crypt, shocks, and Faithless Looting. It's at this moment I wish I was playing actual real burn. Oh, this is Hollow One. Well, okay then. This hand might be a bit slow for Hollow One. Opponent gets back Bloodghast, Bloodghast. We counter like anything they play here. Opponent gets in for 4, takes us to 16. Passes turn. We draw a Mind Funeral. Play Polluted Delta. Pass the turn. Opponent bolts our face. Bolts our face. We're going to counter that one because we need the life to be able to cast, not mission briefing, cast, or actually crack our fetch land so we can cast Cryptic and try and stay alive. We're not in a good place. Heck, with this showing, our opponent might think we're some janky like combo deck that relies on Shelldock Isle. Opponent gets in for 8. We take it, go to 4. And they play a Tassiger. We find Visions of Beyond. Yeah, I don't know how we're going to like combo mill them out next turn. I don't know if that's possible in any way. Draw Watery Grave. Opponent Goblin Lores. So let's start Mind Funeral. We mill 10 cards. Yeah, and that doesn't do it. Okay. Crypt Incursion, Ravenous Trap, Damnation, Echoing Truth, and Extirpates. What do we take out? We take out Fatal Push, Logic Knot, a Trapmaker Snare. Actually, maybe we don't. Oops. Maybe we leave Trapmaker Snare in. Drop a Visions. Drop some Mind Funerals. Try like that. I would love to play first, thank you. And we got Crab, we got Ravenous Trap, we got Extirpate. So this is definitely a much better hand than the one that I kept last game. Play the Crab. Opponent starts land, bolt. Alrighty then. I wonder if it's worth shocking Watery Grave. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. And a Flame Blade Adept. Well, alright then. Let's Visions of Beyond. I'm going to extirpate Lightning Bolt. They have Faithless Looting, Thoughtseize, and Land. Opponent starts Thoughtseize. Takes Mission Briefing. Plays Faithless Looting. Prevent them from having the flashback Faithless Looting. Does this deck ever not have it? Draw a fetch land, why don't you? Opponent gets in for 7. Play the crab. Draws, draws, discards, discards. They discard Tassiger and a Wooded Foothills. Faithless Loots again. Discards Bloodghast and Bloodstained Mire. And now we're just dead. We can't block the one non-lethal creature. Okay. You know, this has a high enough upside of having 4 archive traps in our opener with a cantrip and a single land, both colors. I'm going to keep it. Oh boy, it's about to happen. Oh yeah, we played against this guy. I recognize the name. I mean, no, we didn't. We didn't play an awful deck. They're running Experimental Frenzy. Alright, pass the turn, hold up Logic Knot. Or if they search their deck again, Mission Briefing. Fired both barrels. Trapmaker Snare before mission briefing? I think that's right, too. Okay, opponent almost certainly has company up. Yep, I don't see a reason to not counter this. So that's what we're going to do. Opponent doesn't attack. I don't know if that's a mistake or intentional. Oh, they might chord. Mill them. Maybe we get the thing they're looking for. Oh, actually, I think they're just done now. Gotcha. Casting 4 archive traps in the first 4 turns of the game is pretty good. Alright, Cryptic Incursions in, Echoing Truth in, Fatal Push in, Damnation in. Maybe we bring in Dispel for Collected Company or Chord. That might be questionable. Okay, what do we take out? I think we take out some Mind Funerals because they're really slow. I'm fine cutting of Visions and probably Cryptic. Try like this. Oh. I don't think we can keep this one. This is really tempting, but I don't think we can keep it. We are on the draw, but yeah. Decks to play. Not necessarily good decks to play. Interesting things to watch. Let's phrase it in that way. Put Visions of Beyond on the bottom. Play a Watery Grave. No. Pass the turn. Eidolon of Rhetoric. I don't know if that's a correct thing to do. Because how are you going to run me over if you're playing cards like that? And I have a lot of instant speed stuff. Yeah, that's true. Mission Briefing becomes like 2-mana Surveil 2. Trapmaker Snare becomes get an Archive Trap, but only at your opponent's end step. They're running Coco. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's true. We can't multiple archive traps in a turn. Opponent searches now because we won't be able to do it later. Thought Scour now because we're not doing anything else. I'd love to see them play Experimental Frenzy with this on the board. I think the idea is you're supposed to play more dudes early on than play this. Archdruid. Fair enough. Opponent gets in for 4. We take it. Hit the Horizon Canopy. Get an island. Archive trap them. They still have them in the deck. We hit 3 of them, but they still have them. Okay, I think we glimpse. We shock Watery Grave. And this way we can Crypt Incursion to gain a boatload of life. And then we can Mind Funeral them on their turn. If we draw a mill spell, we cast it on our turn. Opponent plays a Devoted Druid. Opponent attacks for 4. They pump their guys. We take 7. Gain 1,000,000. Oh, I should have funeraled first. You're right. That was my bad. They have 3 cards left in their deck. Yeah, now strip mine. Take them off white. Get an island. We're going to mission briefing at their end step to see if we can find a card to kill them with. Oh man, that was awesome! We're sitting at 52. Who would have thought Elves versus Archive Trap.deck. Archive Trap has some real game. And they give up. Oh, I'd love to play first. I think because we have an Archive Trap and 2 cantrips, I think this is actually an okay hand to keep. Two more followers than open 4 surgicals. Get people at your work to to subscribe then. Or follow, I mean. Oh, man. There's the land. We are holding 4 archive traps. Please be the version of the deck that runs fetch lands. Oh, gosh. Alright, well, it's not an incredibly fast hand from our opponent. Alright. Opponent plays a Ravager. Gets a 1/1. Oh man, we are going to be dead really fast. Okay, well, at least we have a Logic Knot. But we really, really, really need a Field of Ruin. We're never casting Cryptic here. Oh my gosh. Are we just dead? Opponent gets in for 4. Oh gosh. Opponent gets in for 1,000,000. Well, now it doesn't matter how many archive traps we're holding. We're gonna need a Fatal Push. And like now. Oh gosh. Yep, we're just dead. Opponent figured out the math. They saw the line. Yep. That's what double hardened scales will do. Okay. Fatal Push. Echoing Truth. Damnation. Probably Crypt Incursions. We drop Cryptic. Visions. Mind Funerals. Oh yeah, Recall. I almost didn't recall. We'll cut 1 snare this time. They don't naturally search, so... Now cut Damnation? No, I don't want to. We can't bank on drawing a land. Alright, this hand interacts with our opponent, but does nothing else. The archive trap's not going to be useful until later. So we'll start Watery Grave tapped. Pass the turn. We could draw a crab off the top, that'd be great. Opponent plays a Hardened Scales. We play an island. Pass the turn. Evolutionary Leap. Spicy. Thought Scour, draw Mission Briefing. Another fetch land. Play a Flooded Strand. Pass the turn. Well, now we have Fatal Push and Mission Briefing for Fatal Push. Hardened Scales number 2. Walking ballista. I'm gonna wait. Play another land. Push it to the limit? You think so? Alright. Should have played the other fetch land, I think. Oh yeah, this way they can't leap it. They can't like ping us twice and leap it. Yeah, you're right. Hardened Scales number 3. Opponent is making my scales hard. Oh my. Do we want either of these cards? Probably not. Grave. Grave. Hit push. Push the ballista. Opponent gets an Arcbound Worker. And we only draw lands. That's true. Are we just dead? Yep. Yes, we are. Well, unfortunately, we didn't draw a way to make our opponent search their library game 1. And game 2, we drew only lands. Neither of them were particularly useful, if I'm being honest. Okay. I would love to play first. Yeah, I think this is a reasonable hand. We'll keep. Not because it's good. Okay, fair enough. There's not enough, like, really high power creatures. Alright, Josh, I'm gonna need you to stop hurting my feelings. Oh god, it's humans. Get better feelings then. Pardon me? You shut the fuck up. Oh, it's not humans. It's spirits that's running Reflector Mage for some reason. They just think they're humans. They think they're people. Maybe we ought to be running more Ghost Quarter effects. Geist of Saint Win. Okay, we have a 1 crab to absorb 2 damage. Look at the cards. Okay, I will indeed look at the cards. So we're dealing with things like Supreme Phantom. They got a lot of Drog Skull Captains. Reflector Mages, because this is a non-standard list. They have Coco. Good to know. They have a lot of Phantasmal images. Hierarch, Vile, Queller, Path to Exile, Moorland Haunt. Other than the Reflector Mages, it seems to be a pretty reasonable... We did not just lose. Mana Tithe. Okay. Woo! Opponent did not have the Mana Tithe, and we... But we probably shouldn't have chumped with the Lethal Crab. I figured we were going to get through with the thing. Crypt Incursions. Damnation. Fatal Push. Dropping... Cryptic, Funeral. Actually, Snare. Shoot, I didn't make a note of their land base. They probably have fetch lands. We saw fetch lands. Yeah, we saw fetch lands. I'm like 90% sure. I'm keeping 1. Run like this. Any other sweet tech we want to run? No, this is fine. We'll do this. I wish this Damnation was any other card in the game, and Raylan's going to make me eat putting it in here, but I think this hand is okay. It's not great, but it is okay. That value. I mean, it does just keep getting better, so... Like, next turn, if the crab lives, we can Field of Ruin and then Visions of Beyond. Opponent gets in for 2. We play Field of Ruin. Mill him. Pass the turn. Opponent flashes in a Spell Queller. Yeah. Opponent gets in for 4. We take it. Nail Breeding Pool. You mean like now? Opponent gets Wanderer. That's actually pretty bad. We'll play a land. I don't know that trying to logic knot is going to be good enough. But I think that's what I'm going to do. Alternatively, we can try and just Ancestral at their end step, which is a completely reasonable thing to do. Opponent gets in for 6. I didn't fix the island. Oh, I can't do that. Shoot. We already did activate the shell dock. Oh, last turn. Well, if our opponent sacks Horizon Canopy in response and we can't actually get a land. Opponent has Unified Will. Okay. And the problem is I think they play any spirit and we die, though. Yep. Well, give them the chance to screw up. Maybe they have 6. They don't. Okay. Alright. Oh, sorry I'm playing poorly. I think we take out Damnation just for the last Trapmaker snare. It is better on the play. But it's also bad versus Spirits, who has, like, Curse Catcher effects. I'd love to play first. I think this hand is amazing. We're going to keep. What the heck is this? Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Ugh. I should have archive trapped. My bad. You ever punt so hard that you're just luring them into a false sense of security? I don't think that's the case. You're luring them into a justified sense of superiority? Oh man, that's golden. 100% accurate. Oh, you guys have the best banter ever. So good. My God. I'm going to try and hit a land here. Oh, it worked. Perfect. Perfect. Opponent gets in for 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mind Funeral. Force him to sack. Or they don't. Opponent plays a Noble Hierarch. Gets in for 5. One, 2, 3. We're 1 mana off being able to use Archive Trap under Shell Dock. It's Archive Trap. They have 1, 2. This costs 4. They'd have to counter it. Do we try Encrypt Incursion? We risk dying to this if they play a Lord, and they did just play a Mana Dork. I think we have to cast Crypt Incursion, because that's the only thing we can do to force them to sack this Mausoleum Wanderer. And then we try and get them with Shell Dock, pay 1 for Archive Trap, pay, like draw land, Glimpse. I think that's like our only actual real way we win. Like, we could just try and hold up Logic Knot. But they're going to have mana for Queller next turn. Like, we could block here, and then we would only lose to... We could block Thalia. We could take 3 in the air. If they have Queller, they could make it 4, and that would take us to 2. We might be able to pass. If we pass, we might have to block, but I guess let's do that. Most of what we have is instant anyway. Opponent attacks for 5. We go to 1. We can't cast Archive Trap. They haven't cast anything, so we have to cast Crypt Incursion. Yeah, we probably should have. Well, no, if we had done it on Declare Blocks, we'd have died. Because it would have pumped Wanderer. We can't crack this fetch land. We can Glimpse, but we can't activate Shelldock because this is a fetch land. Yeah, we should have done it on our turn. Damn it. Oh well. We did our best. Well, I shouldn't spout obvious falsehoods. We did okay. Well, we would have forced the sack. We would have gained some life. They could have quellered the... Or we would have forced the sack. We wouldn't have gained life. They'd have swung. They would have had Queller for the Glimpse. We might have been able to Archive Trap them, but then I think we die after that. I was just that's like the second time ever, and you've watched like every stream of mine, so you got a really good track record. I think like 98.5% is still pretty damn good. So, yeah, I think we really, really, really need Surgicals for this deck.